Hello, welcome to Peas in a Pod. My mate Dan and me, Martin. You alright, Dan?
Not bad.
Good. It's nice to be back, Dan.
It's nice to have you back.
Yeah, I had a lot of nice compliments, a lot of care of people last 2 weeks. So I say thank you for that, and we'll carry on. We'll get going, Dan.
Yeah.
So we'll have a look at some stuff, a bit of a catch up, what we've done in the past, and just a few little heads up on fertilizers. You know what to look for when you're buying them, and how to understand some jargon that you get on the labelling and the packaging. Yep. Right, so if you think back now, I think it'd be about 3 weeks ago. Yeah, it won't be much more than that, would it, when we planted these potatoes. We did a few different ways of planting potatoes. These were covered, and then obviously I haven't been down for a while, and like Billy Smart's big top when I come down, and it done it were
They look weird.
yeah, we're really pushing them up. So I've got these cut out now so the taters can grow away, and obviously it's shown that it hadn't deterred the growth. I know the growth looks a bit spindly, but that's because it were only yesterday or day before when I did let them be exposed to light. So these will green up now and they'll grow away. So yeah, up to press, there's a tick in that box. And then we did varieties in buckets. We've done some in a compost bag, as you can see, the one just in half a compost bag. It's no better or no worse, whichever way you look at it, than the ones in the bucket. So I'm happy with those, how they've come up. They're nice, healthy green colour. So hopefully, yeah, another top up with compost on them. The 3/4 that way up now. Let them grow away. Plenty of water, and we should have a really good crop there. Both varieties what are in here are Rocket, which is the first early variety. Yep, pleased with them. The flower borders, they've sprung into life now. So we've got this lovely big flag iris. It's just starting to go over now. Yep, that's done well. Little chives. I love growing the chives, not for the table but just for the flower. And bees absolutely love them as well. They are good for pollinators. And Ligularia, Desdemona, big red leaf. You see it's well liked by slugs and stuff. But selection of plethora really of different herbaceous plants in here. Different type of iris. Iris siberica. Siberian iris. I really love that little iris. It makes a good show. And that's combined with that little variegated Jacob's ladder and this gallery loop in the white one. So yeah, they're really in the pomp now this time of year.
It looks really well down here, doesn't it?
Yep. This is time of year as well. A lot of this stuff, herbaceous, after you've had your first flush of flowers, I think it's this weekend actually, we can do what we call the Chelsea chop.
Yeah.
And basically you've got to be brave, and you cut them back really hard. You'll get a second flush of flowers as you go into August at the back end as well. So you can get 2 lots of flowers. Not the iris, you need that to build back up, but such as your delphiniums and lupins. As soon as them flowers are fading, cut them right back down and you should get a second flush of flowers.
That's a little handy tip.
Plenty of growth on stuff. You can see these grapevines, 2 grapevines in here. This is their second year in bed. It's the 3rd year, so the 3-year-old plants. So this is the second full year. So I will be coming on, me and Dan, and showing you a few tips on how to prune these and look after them in due course. The £20 bed, which is the £20 challenge bed. The flowers are coming on, you know, they're really coming on now. The germination of the carrots, I'm really impressed with that, and I do believe it's because of that extra warmth with them breaks.
Yeah, we were a bit unsure whether we were going to get any germination at all on that.
Yeah, because carrots are hard enough to germinate when you're giving them a more protected environment. These have just been sown in a drill. It's not ideal soil in this bed for carrots, and the germination, it has done well. And bear in mind, I've already had a bit of a thinning on these, so you know, you're not seeing the full germination, as it were. Little sweetheart onions from sets, these are coming on. None of this stuff has had a feed. This is it, all it's had is some water. The moolah, radish, they're coming. Bit of the flea beetle damage, but I'm not showing them, I'm going to eat them. You know, they'll not get to the radish, so that doesn't bother me too much. Beetroots, lettuce, again they're coming now. Both have been thinned out again. So there's no point trying to grow full row because they're just going to smother one another. You're not going to get a quality lettuce or if you're overcrowded. These were a gift off the friend to try, so I thought, seeing as there was a gift, they can go in this bed, and that's some celeriac. Never grown that before, so that'd be interesting to see how it goes on, but it's looking well. And the small row cabbages, I've just thinned them this week. That's the £20 bed then coming on. What also, a few episodes back I took some tomato cuttings. Now they're all lovely and rooted. I'm not going to pot them up because it's that time of year, about 2 weeks after it being June. I'm just going to knock them out of the pots that they've rooted in as cuttings, and I'm going to put them in here. So we've got a row of tomatoes then, which again freebies because they were cuttings. So I had £20 on this bed. There'll be some repeat sowings of the lettuce and things like that, maybe even the beetroot as we're using them. To press I spent £10, so for £20 I could have done 2 of these beds. You know, I could have put some more like stock veg in here, like your potatoes, perhaps more onions, shallots, and still been well within £20, so shows you don't need a fortune. Oh, we'll have a look at them 2 baskets and that planter what we made up there.
Yeah, we'll take a look at them.
Yep. So yeah, if you think back, I went through a couple of moss baskets and then I did a planter up. I don't think I did the planter actually on air, did I? I think I did that separate, but it was the same time as these 2 baskets. As you can see, that you know they've really took off now. They're really filling out. Again, it's not because I'm some magician or anything like that. Far from it. That's because they've had time to establish in the greenhouse. That is the main thing with them, like I said before. Don't plant them and then put them straight out. Let them get going, let them roots get in. They're lovely now. Again, they haven't been fed. Just watered into that all-in centre that we made. And that's it, away they go. And you can see now, that didn't need a geranium or a fuchsia middle. No. All the dahlias, these are getting ready. I'll cut these back down to 2 leaves before they go out because they're trying to flower now, which I don't want. They're not big enough, they're not strong enough, so I'll sort that. And these little pots of Trixies, what we did now, these are coming on, these will be going on fence. Again, probably another week and a half in here.
It's a lovely colour on them.
Yep, just don't you fall down steps, Dad.
Definitely not.
So, yeah, the cabbages will have a... So what I've done today is I've sort of got bed more or less ready for these to go out now, so my hopes is to get them out in the morning if weather's suitable. And that's the Cornish giants.
Are these all the original Cornish giants?
Yeah, they're not the reselected, they're the original.
Yeah,
I have sown some reselected, but they're quite a way behind these, but we were later getting seed.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of doing with them is just growing them for the table.
Yeah.
You know, trying to grow them up to be a
big
giant.
freezer.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much how most things are growing. What I want to link in, or me and Dan want to link in with that as well, is everything you're growing, especially table wise, and you know, your flowers, they do need some sort of feed. Now, if you're new to this and you don't really know a lot about feeding plants and stuff, it's a minefield. So you get plant feeds, fertilizers, organic fertilizers, base dressings, plethora of things that can really be a bit overfacing. So pick one at random what we got. So there, it's just a multi-purpose plant food, that. So again, feed and grow. Got your Miracle Grow. Got Vitax Q4. All these are all well-known plant foods. Some one of Doff's fertilizers. Now, the thing to look for when you're buying any of these, there's 3 nutrients that plants need above any others. That's nitrogen, phosphate and potassium. N, P and K. So they need nitrogen, need phosphate, they need potassium. We've got numbers there, 777. That's the parts of each that's in this fertiliser. So it's 7% nitrogen, 7% phosphorus, 7% potassium. Still mind-boggling. I went through all the way through, I've heard this explained so many different ways through my gardening career and stuff. I'll go back to the simplest way I ever told it and it still stops with me. And I think I'm about 14-year-old. And it's this, Dan. Your first one N, above ground. Anything that's green, your foliage, your stems. So the first one N, that's feeding above ground. Your second one, P, phosphorus, that's below ground. So that's all your roots, building up bulbs, building up tubers, that sort of thing. Your final one, K, that's fruits and flowers.
Right, okay.
So it's above, below, fruits and flowers. That's, if you remember that, you'll not go far wrong. You don't want to get caught up in trappings to try and remember what M, P and K is. Just remember above, below, fruits and flowers. As simple as that.
A lot easier to
It is. This one is what we call a balanced fertiliser. Basically all that means is those 3 numbers, your NPK, exactly the same. So it's giving them a bit of everything. That's one. Miracle Grow, this is pretty well known to most people. I don't think you'll pick this up on camera actually because it's very smallly written. But this is 24, 8, 16. Again, when you see them numbers, some of these have stopped putting NPK on now. At one time they always put NPK and the numbers below, but they seem to be going away from that. So that's 24% is nitrogen, 8 phosphorus, 16 potassium. So basically that's good for your foliage. You're not putting so much into your roots with it, and it's good for fruits and flowers. So that's why Miracle grows well. You get all the trace elements with this, so they do need other things as well. Amounts. I know it's a bit of science, but it's an high ratio that. These boxes will tell you the dilution rates as well, so stick with them. You don't gain nothing by doubling up. You know, they are one for the queen. All you'll do is cause them to be fertiliser sink with overfeeding. So stick to what it tells you. The only time we'll differ from that is when we're growing our big stuff like them cabbages. They'll take a bit more, won't they? Well, they'll take a hell of a lot more.
Very hungry plants.
Right, liquid plant foods as well. Right, that's what we call a granular, obviously. Miracle grows a powder, it's actually a granular. And then we have liquid feeds. The best way I remember this being told to me, explained to me, is when, like, these are a slow release granular. That, if you'll give a plant that, it's like it having a Sunday dinner. It's going to sustain it for a while. It's slow release of it. This is like giving it a McDonald's. It's a quick hit. So if you've got something that's yellowing on you and looking a bit ill and you think it wants a feed, don't give it slow release, because the time it's got the benefit from that, it'll be too late. So hit it with a liquid feed, perk it back up straight away. But again, stick to the dosage. Just because it's going over, it's needing a bit of nitrogen, stick to the dosage on it. Don't increase on that. That one, as you can see, 644. Above, below, fruits and flowers. That's a tomato feed. Now, saying all that, as you probably know, I think it might have been the very first episode, I get up on these sort of fertilizers, and I've switched over to these now, which is plant tonics.
Yeah.
Not cheap. I think this SB plant invigorator now this were about £22. It goes a long way.
Yeah, you get a full season out of that.
Oh yeah. You're not using it very sparingly, but you're not buying, or hopefully you're not buying. You know, you can't say it as a general rule. You'll be cutting down on the use, I think, is a better way of putting it, of pesticides, because this does work as an invigorator, and it makes it a lot healthier plant. It don't get it doesn't get attacked as much. It does protect it against that sort of thing as well. And mildew, so it's doing three things. It's feeding, it's got pesticides, and it's got mildew, and it's all organic. So I am using that now, and results are looking all right at the minute. You know, we're not into June yet, so we're just starting growing season really in this neck of woods. But yeah, stuff's not looking any further behind or further in front than before I was using these. So, but you can see that's 10 mil to a litre of water. So you've got 50 litres worth in there, which is a lot of feed.
Yeah.
So if you're feeding once a week with this, you know that you've got your 2 Christmas weeks when you're not feeding at you. So you've got 2 years out of that, basically, haven't you? Maybe 3. Probably stretch it to 3 years with that. So that's a range of fertilisers. These fertilisers, such as what we put on straight onto as beds, they're what we call a base dressing. So that's the feed you're putting on, usually a few days a week before you start planting stuff, just to get it washed in and getting it active in your soil. Yeah, they're your base dressings. Again, you get variations with the NPK, but they're there for you to see. So I'm growing such as these cabbages.
Yeah.
I want a lot of green. You know, they're a big green plant. I'm going to look for IN above.
Yes.
Yeah. So I use Ufanom. It's 13% straight. So straight fertiliser has one thing in it. So Ufanon is a straight nitrogen fertiliser.
Yeah.
That's what I'm using on cabbages. I want them big, I want them green, and I want plenty of green. I'm looking for the weight, I'm looking to boost them up. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And again, your tomatoes, you're after fruit. You know, you want plenty of tomato. That's the goal, isn't it, to get tomatoes off a tomato plant. So once they've got going and they've got established, when they get the first trusses on, then you start looking at the P, fruits and flowers. K, sorry, not P, K. Potassium, fruits and flowers, and that's when you're giving them that feed. And like I've said, tomato feed, I mean like your tomarites and such as that, you can use them for a whole host of plants. You know, you can use them for your hanging baskets, for your roses, anything you're after getting a flower or a fruit on. You know, melon, anything like that, what you're after a fruit and a flower on, you can use that. Even your fruit trees, you can give them a feed with a, you know, tomarite.
Give them an out.
So yeah, a bit of science there. I didn't want it to be too sciencey, but just so if you know, I'm not trying to lead an horse to water, but anybody who's new to it, Dan, I know when I started, it takes some getting your head round.
Yeah, you know? I mean, I'm 4 years in, and I've always struggled with fertilisers, like I say.
Yeah, and
above, below. It's a good way of remembering.
Fruits and flowers. That's it. That's job done then, and it's one less thing to worry about. You can enjoy your growing. Just one note on that. A lot of people will get a bit especially when you first start, you get a bit misled by putting horse manure in and they think you're feeding plants. It's very low nutrients is horse manure. What you're doing when you put that in is you're improving your soil structure. Yeah, so you're improving your drainage, which gives you better rooting capacity. Yeah, you're increasing the amount of life, the amount of organisms that are living in your soil. So you're improving the biology. That's main. There's a small amount. You will get a small amount because of the nitrea in it, the ammonias, which why you want it to be well rotted. Never put fresh manure in it; it'll burn your roots. So you will get a small amount of nitrogen and such. But it's very variable and it's very inconsistent to worry about. If I were using FYN, farmyard manure on all these beds every year, I would still feed. I would still not, in my mind, be happy that there are enough nutrients in that soil for cropping. you know, especially for table with your big leaf
Yeah,
stuff, your
it-
cabbage, your
it takes a lot.
brassicas. Yeah. So yeah. I think that's it on fertilisers, Dan. I think that's, you know, it's
Yeah, it's fairly simple when you put your mind to it. It's
Yeah.
nice explained.
But yeah, just to reiterate, NPK, nitrogen, phosphate, potassium, above, below, fruits and flowers. Job done, Dan.
That's right.
See you in 2 weeks, yeah?
Yeah.
Or you'll one next week.
Yeah, we're going to be doing the planting out the giant cabbage next week.
Yeah. And I'll be missing next week, but I'll be back the week after.
So until then,
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
cheers.
Bye.